We are recorded and recording, and we're gonna go.
Oh, Jay!
Oh, hi, David. What
I
are you
didn't see.
reading? What are you reading
I was
there?
just, I was just reading a book. I apologize about that.
Wait, hold it up. I didn't quite see what that title was.
It's this improv book by David Escobedo, available on Amazon.com. I wasn't expecting you to call right then. I apologize.
I just have a habit of breaking in.
Mm. Yes. Yes.
Hey, what are you drinking there? What are you drinking there?
Oh, it's a soda that's really popular in Europe. It's called the hashtag I know JaySukow. I think it's
Oh,
French.
oh,
Mm.
yum.
That is supportive. That is supportive.
Well, my friend, I'm very excited. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 suggestion options. You give me a number, and whatever number that corresponds to, the suggestion will be what we use. So what number, 1 through 13?
I will take 13. That's my wife's favorite number.
Ooh, it comes from Jason Hayter. Our suggestion is breeder.
Jason. Breeder?
Breeder. Breeder. Man. Hey, you see it?
Yeah, it's really in there, man. It's deep.
Yeah. It's yeah, I've had my horse now for well, half its life. So it's
Yeah.
deep.
Oh, it'll come out though, because I have to do this. They make special tweezers for this. I mean, animals like this get splinters like this all the time, so it's gonna be fine.
So she's not gonna die, right? She's not gonna die.
It's dangerous. I mean, quality of life might be questionable, but it's gonna be she's not gonna die. That's what I want to say. She's not gonna die. She's gonna live. She's gonna live a healthy few more years.
Well, I don't want to skip past that quality of life might be questionable comment you made. Should I consider options for her life? I don't want her to suffer.
Chesney, I've known you. I mean, I've been your veterinarian. I've been your go-to person about this, and so I'm not gonna challenge our relationship by giving you news that's inappropriate or not factual. And I'd say that the quality of life is for this horse is going to go down. This horse might lose its neck.
Okay, wait, Kenny, the horse might lose its neck.
Now, what we'll do? Can you see me? Can you see me? Okay. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the head of the horse and remove the neck, so it'll kind of be horse head to body of the horse.
Okay. I kind of saw you, but you got to turn around. You're pointing that right into the horse. Show me.
Okay.
You got to turn to see me.
Hold on. This is not an exact science. Okay, that might be better.
I didn't come to somebody for exact science. I don't believe in science.
I know. I started in acupuncture. I'm an Eastern medicine horse veterinarian. So when we remove the neck, it's not going to be surgical. It's going to be probably yoga and Pilates and stuff like that. But let's say this is the horse's head right here, right?
Okay. All right.
And let's say this flashlight is the horse's body.
Ah, now you're putting it in terms I can understand. Okay.
So it's gonna probably do a lot of that, and then from there, and then once you and then it's basically just gonna be the body with the head. I'm not sure I'm being clear here.
Well, wait a minute. All right. So I got the horse.
Yeah, that's good. I like that better. Go.
Okay. So now the collar right now takes up most of it. So you're going to take that part out.
Yes.
Oh, and then she's just going to rest her head right
on her shoulders, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's going to, but like for the rest of its life, because it will no longer have a neck.
So, wow. So when she goes out, and she wants to look at someone, she has to turn her whole body.
Which, for a human being is not as difficult as a horse, which is on 4 legs. It can do a little bit of, right, it might have to actually literally move its whole body.
You know what? I got to be honest with you, Kenny. I knew this day would come. I knew it. I knew this day would come. I knew at one point I'd be facing a decision like this. I'm going to tell you, I want you to go and remove that splinter.
Okay, I'm just looking for something. Give me a second.
Yeah. I can give you.
I'm going to go in deep for the splinter. Okay, so I'm inside now. I'm inside with the splinter. Oh goodness, you can still see me. That's good. There's a lot going on inside here for a horse.
Well, yeah, she's a thoroughbred. She's a trooper. She's the most majestic athlete I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, that's where I think. I mean, I don't know, but I think that's why you named it Majestic.
Yeah, that's exactly why I did. I knew when she was a little tiny foal. I'm like, this is gonna be one majestic animal. You just know, you just know. I mean, as a veterinarian, you know the same thing. You know when you see these animals. I mean, you delivered her, so you know when you saw her. It was like, and I got to be honest. You said what a majestic creature, and I put that into my mental banks. And then when it's time to name her, I named her Majestic.
I think that completely makes sense, Chesney. And she is a majestic animal. This is not going to make her any less majestic. It's just going to make her pretty awkward. Oh, I'm getting deep in this. But I can see I think I can see the splinter now. And
okay, go
if
deep.
I remove the splinter, the next thing is just after I remove the splinter, it's going to be a lot of yoga, a lot of stretching, and we're going to probably have to get that neck down.
That's fine. I don't care what it is. The more we're talking about, the more I realize I want her to live. I want Majestic to live, and even if it's a quality of life she's not used to, but it's something I enjoy, then I want her to stay around.
I think that's why I've come to you with most of my animals, is that you have a respect for the quality of life of the animal. You're not looking just to make money off of breeding horses. Like you're not looking just to. Yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
Do what you got to do. I mean, do what you got to do. Whatever you got to do to keep that animal alive.
Okay. She's done. I got most of the splinter out.
Oh, Majestic.
Yeah.
Oh, she's right. Look at how Majestic. Oh, look at you. Look at her.
Let me die.
Majestic.
Oh, Majestic.
I have to turn my whole body to look at you now.
Oh, no.
But Majestic. I still have you as an owner, so it's okay.
Majestic, you got a point. This is your life to live. If you want to go peacefully, Dr. Kenny can make you go peacefully. If that's what you want, Majestic, Majestic, look at me. You look at me with your big, beautiful brown eyes. Look at me. Give me a sign with those eyes. If you want to go, give me any sign. You want to say yes or no. Just give me a solid yes or no that you want to go. No, you don't want to go, or no, you do want to go. Use your 3 tap rule with your hoofs. 3 taps if you want to stay. So you do want to stay. You want to stay around, right? Okay, all right.
I think so.
Chesney, I think it's weird that you do a 3 tap rule when obviously the horse can talk.
You think it's weird?
I do think it's odd.
I mean, it is. I do a 3 tap rule. It's a conversation we have amongst us. The reason do you know why I'm doing it, Dr. Kenny?
I would love to hear it.
I want to make sure that I'm doing what the horse wants, what Majestic wants. And sometimes she might say she wants one thing, but she wants the other. And to be completely honest, it was a little confusing because her head without the neck is going all over the place. And I can't really get a gauge on if she wants to yes or no. Look, right now she's like, no, but then because she's got no neck, it's just bobbing over there. It's like a head on Jello and it's just going all over the place, Doc.
That completely makes sense. That completely makes sense with the 3 tap rule then, because the nodding is everything doesn't make sense. It's unclear. So the 3 taps are completely clear.
You guys don't understand me. I'm out of here.
Wait, bring her, Doc. Look how majestic that horse is.
It's a show horse. I mean, you're a breeder for this kind of animal. I believe they're called Appalachian Blues.
Yeah, Appalachian Blues.
Horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you just want to ride that horse? Don't you just want to get on that, put your saddle on the horse, and then just take it around for one more gallop around this farm?
I do.
Then, Dr. Kenny, if you want to do it, go ahead, grab any one of my saddles I got up there on the wall. You put that saddle right on Majestic, and you ride that horse.
See if I can get Majestic in here. Hold on, Majestic, get in here.
You got to use the horse call.
Get in your way, Majestic.
You got to use your horse call to get her in.
Here we go. Majestic is here. Let's see if we can. I'm gonna hold the phone so you can watch her. I'm gonna just. Here you go, Majestic. I'm gonna get on top, and I'm just gonna. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like.
Wow. Majestic, use your 3 taps if you want him to give you one more ride around that farm. 3 taps means yes. All right, Doc, get off. Doc, get off. Majestic does not want you on her at all. This was a complete misread. That's why I've got the 3 tap rule in place. That's why I've got the 3 tap rule in place. It was a misread by me. I'm sorry, Majestic.
But it's just been much pressure without the neck. People don't realize the neck relieves a lot of pressure of the rider.
That's why you're the doctor, and I'm just the horse breeder.
You're the best horse breeder.
Yes, see. Monica, get in here. Very good. Now, normally, I would not tell someone to get on someone in a scene. However, I'm so glad. Oh, I love that you use that.
So
what was it? Like paper towel?
I just had the idea. I'm going to be honest. I had the idea when I was using the toilet. There was a paper towel roll. I don't know what happened to it. It must have fallen.
Well, that was so cool.
I figure if you use anything to limit like the image or it just changes. And all I did was a piece of masking tape to just behind and then I had to just adjust it. But I was thinking also you might be able to like rip it and cut it to get like even a different effect.
Totally.
Or like the opposite, whatever it was. I just think we need to experiment with this medium because
100%. I thought I was, and I wasn't sure how to convey it, but I thought like I was behind you looking over your shoulder because of how that was, because you were looking into where the horse was. So I was like, oh, how do I position it so that I let you know I'm bending the space, the reality of it right now to be behind you. So I really dug that. I dug that you used that prop right there. And I think you're right on the money of like, how can we start looking at certain things we can do and just play with it?
I was also thinking that what you could do, well, I don't have anything around me right now, but if you had like a piece of paper, let's say hypothetically this is a piece, and you cut a hole in it, and you could put like, you know how people do like those photo booths where they stick their head through the photo booths? You could play different characters that they had like different crowns and all that kind of stuff. And you could almost literally draw it improvisationally, you know, or thought bubbles kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I thought this was a lot to explore here.
And it's a visual, it's
underneath.
Monica just said you could even like draw water here, and it could be like the ocean or something. Like
So it's like, I like that. So you can have a couple things. You know, when I started, I was with a group and we had wigs and we were kind of made fun of, but it was a short form group and we had costumes and wigs, and it, for me at least, it helped me even quicker get into more of a solid character, and it set the tone even more. So like, I do like the idea of like, oh, can we, because you could start playing with the background, the virtual backgrounds.
Yeah.
But now it's like using things like, what if you do have that, like a toilet paper or a paper towel roll that you put right up to the camera. And I think you mentioned it to me yesterday when we were on doing that class, like talk into the camera, and your instinct is to look down. But I think after you do it for just a bit, you get used to it. You get used to like, I'll still be able to see you even if I'm looking at the camera.
Yeah. And another thing I think we don't really take to our advantage, which I could have done with this, I was thinking about it when you told me to ride the horse, is that then I had the point of view of being like riding the horse, you at the back like Monica said as the horse, is like, I could have went outside. I could have walked down the street. I could have like, we don't have to stay stationary. We could like go in the ceiling. It doesn't really matter. I was also thinking like I could start off like this. Like that's kind of a different view or whatever.
Yeah. And you could be,
it's like,
yeah, like be on the horse.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
And it's like the one medium where we can move the audience wherever we need the audience to be, because the audience is the size of our phone. You know, take them on drive.
And what would be cool is to do a scene where like in a cafe or something, and then you pan the camera over to just Monica at another table, and you're just watching her react as she hears the conversation going. So we're really focused on her as she's like eavesdropping on this conversation and seeing what her reaction is, and we're off camera.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great idea. Oh, that's a great idea.
You know, and then you can almost like self-direct these scenes in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how are you dealing with all of this and staying positive?
It's honestly, people like you keep me super positive. I'm not really that affected because I have purpose with my PhD, where this year especially I was supposed to sit down and do a ton of reading anyway. So like this year is my literature review, where I just journals and books, and that's been difficult because I find that my focus is gone. It's very difficult for me to focus on something, but it still gives me a purpose. This is something that I have to do. And then Monica and I got World of Warcraft and Disney Plus, which gives me a lot of entertainment. And like, thank the Lord up above on high that Monica and I have similar interests when it comes to movies and TV shows. Because like one time she put on the Muppets, and I was like, "Oh, thank you for putting this on." And she's like, "No, I like the Muppets." I was like, "Oh, cool." And then also we've been fortunate with weather. Today's the first day where we do not have good weather, but we've had great weather. And by England standards, it's usually like rainy and cloudy, but for the last 2 weeks or so, it's been sunny so much. So we've been fortunate with all that stuff on the front, but that just means that made me like happy and fine with everything. But people like you make me have hope and optimistic, because you literally do stuff that drives me forward. Like, that's amazing. Like our conversation in the class, everything you said, I was like, right there, that right there.
Yeah, and the same thing. It's like it's so like talking to you is such an energy boost, and Monica as well. And like I think you're hopefully people are getting out of this. You can kind of reset what your normal was and reset what your narrative is, and then go, this is moving forward. How do you want things to be? Not how they were. How do you want things to be? And then reconnect with those people that give you inspiration and keep you positive, and see the people you don't need who are at a different energy or maybe are more negative, and then go, cool, like I'm going to spend my time that's very limited. You know, my time's my currency. So like I'm going to spend it with the people I want to be with, rather than like I'm chasing these things that I don't want. Even if I get, I'm not going to be happy about it. And in the moment, where can you spend your time most effectively that brings you the most joy?
Mm-hmm. And I think this is inspired by you, and also inspired by Brene Brown, is because I just read her book, Daring Greatly. Oh my God, the book was amazing. And instead of us looking at like what we want to do improv the way we used to have it. But looking at what we have, I think is so much better. So if I look at like, well, I want to do a Herald with 6 people and do it online, it's definitely not going to be the way that I've envisioned it. So there's going to be disappointments. There's going to be flexibility. But if I look at what I have and I go, okay, I have a camera right here. I can move that camera wherever I want it to be. I could I could take you into the toilet. I could take you outside. I could take wherever. That's what I have. So how can I use that to progress happiness? And also something that we overlook that's remarkable is stuff like this, where I can connect to you in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I'm in England. Like, to connect to people around the world is nuts too. Like,
yeah.
So what do I have, and how can I use that to spread happiness and make myself happy, like World of Warcraft and stuff like that? Yeah. I think that really helps out too.
And then you say to yourself, I have enough, I am enough is another good quote. It's like, I have enough, I am enough. And you nailed it, where like we're changing from this change is taking things away from us to like, no, this is now giving us even more opportunities, because there's no way that we could be improvising every day because we live in different cities. There's no way before like this video technology came in, and now we're able to do it. And now it's like I can talk to people from all over the world, and there's no excuse right now for people not to be creating. They're really the only excuse people have a lot of times is it's a personal thing of like, oh, I don't get joy out of it. And like, that's fine. But like you said, what we have right now, like you change your expectations, and what you have now is you can start exploring this so much more. And the fact that you brought in that role there that we can look through, it's like, oh, cool. Now that just expanded the possibilities here. And like, why not go back to some of that stuff of like being in a character or being in costume? I had my friend Shad Kunkel, I did one of these with, and he showed up in a tuxedo. I was like, of course. And so I'm like, of course, why not? Why not? And it was so great. So then I rushed to put something on. And then pretty soon we were these two kind of high status characters. And it was just such a blast. But of course he did that. So now's the opportunity. I've been reaching out to a bunch of people too and be like, hey, you want to do a scene? And like the overwhelming response is, yeah, absolutely. And so seize that opportunity. Like the people you look up to, the people who you like learn from or want to play with, like, you know, social media is a great chance to reach out to those people and say like, hey, would you ever want to do a scene with me? Like the worst they're going to say is no. And most of the people, if they see it, will say yes, especially improvisers, because they got nothing else going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that like, so I was supposed to do a class with Jane Morris, and when we tried to connect Zoom to Facebook, it just didn't work. And so for the first like 20 minutes, I'm stressed and I'm angry. God, this is not going the way I expected it to go, the way it used to go before COVID-19. Blah, 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 blah. But then like, and she was so cool with it. We talked for an hour and a half about improv. Someone I've never really had a conversation with who's, I mean, it blew my mind, the stuff she was saying.
Yes.
And I had an hour and a half conversation with her. And I'm like, improv teaches you not to plan 2 steps ahead, but to be in the moment of what's happening right now. And so I had to constantly remind myself, yes, I'm frustrated that this content get on Facebook, but dude, I'm having a remarkable conversation that I've never had before.
Yeah.
And it like the stuff she would say, oh, Gary Marshall. I'm like, oh my God, Gary Marshall. Like amazing. Yeah.
And you're saying like you're saying it, it's, you know, she's an amazing living improv encyclopedia. And you have this opportunity that like, of course it's okay to feel frustrated, for sure. Technology is going to frustrate us. But you're balancing that frustration with being more vulnerable because we're in your room, we're in your house. So you're going to be more vulnerable in these situations. And she's, you know, she's one of the coolest people out there. It's such a, like a great teacher and performer. Like, are you kidding me? And so the fact you have access to some of these people that like literally created some theaters that from the offshoot of that, like all the people they've affected and taught, just trickles, like it just gushes, doesn't trickle down, it gushes down. And so now you have people who have studied with them, and like Jane and Jeff have a space here in LA at the Fanatic Salon, and there are people there that study with them for decades. So like that's to me a sign of a great teacher, is people who are like, no, I've tried other places, I just like these classes because I like the effect you have. And so the fact you're able to document that is amazing.
She was telling me the story. She's like, oh, I remember the story where Bernie Salins fired us and talk. And I was like, I've heard the story before. And I literally picked up the book that I was reading about improv. And I was like, here it is. You were telling me firsthand this story that this book is telling me. And then I was like, oh, the Second City used to do a show at the end of the pier in Santa Monica. Yeah. Am I rambling too much? Because I don't mind talking to you like about random stuff. Okay. No. Second City used to do a show at the end of the pier in Santa Monica, and she was telling me about it. It's like, oh yeah, when I was in college, I went to go see them, and Edie McClurg was in the class. Yep. I love Edie McClurg. And Dan Castaneda was in the show. I just went because it was improv. But I was like, oh my gosh. And she's like, oh yeah, Dan Castaneda teaches the class at the Fanatic Salon. And I'm like, oh my God. No.
Yeah, they have these people, and it's like, yeah, Edie McClurg is part of the Spolin players who were like some of the last people to study with Viola Spolin, and Dan Castellaneta is an old Second City guy. Like he's a Second City guy, and they're, you know, these are people that are friends with so many people that we look up to, and so many people that have had a huge impact in the world of comedy. And so, yeah, you go to this little salon, this little theater in Culver City, Fanatic Salon, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, there's Edie McClurg and Dan Castellaneta, and yeah, Gary Marshall's in the audience, and you're like, what the? George Wendt and George Wendt's wife, Bernadette Burkett, who's an amazing improviser herself, and you're just like, what's going? Like I met Mina Kolb there. She was in the first Second City cast. She was seeing a show, and I got introduced to her, and I like was completely dumbstruck. I was like, yeah, I know who you are for sure. And she was there, and she's probably in her 90s now or late 80s, and still sharp with it and everything like that. But you're like, man, where else? And it's this little theater that seats 40, 50 people. And you're like this, the history of the people in that theater to see that show at that time was unbelievable. So you're just like, okay, cool. You meet people like Paul Sand, who another like way back in the day, Second City guy. And you're like, I have access to these people. I can talk to these people right now, man. And they are just, they get it. They say the same thing. A lot of them say the same thing. And a lot of times it's like, don't fight, don't yell on stage. It's not funny. Like it's really good for me to hear, because sometimes you think like, am I teaching the right things? Am I saying the right things? Do people want to have this argument or this anger? And then you meet some of those people and you're like, oh no, okay, cool. It reaffirms my philosophy, where it's like, doesn't have to be for everyone, but it reaffirms like, no, man, you're on the right path right there.
Yes. Like now after talking to her, I want to take a workshop with Jeff Michalski. I've seen his name everywhere. I've always heard stuff about him, but like now I totally want to do one. And then she told me, she's like, when we did the ETC, and I was like, I've read about the ETC. She's like, there's a plaque that says to Jeff and Jane out front. I'm like, oh my God, there's a plaque.
They founded it.
Reading about.
The Second City they have two resident theaters. One's the main stage and one is the ETC, and they founded the ETC theater. Like they were the ones who opened it when Bernie was away for the weekend, and they're like, we're going to do shows here. And then they did them. So like and then I think John and Jane founded, or maybe John's brother Jeff founded the training center at Second City in Hollywood. Like there's a big history that ties back to the Michalskis. A lot of Southside Polish folk, man. A lot of Southside Polish folk. Rosalski, Michalski, Jagodowski, Kakowski. Tell us about where we can find you on social media and your books. And now you got the Improv Boost, which is amazing. It helps smaller improv theaters and groups, and you promote that all the time, which is wonderful. You got a couple books.
I would like to promote three things. The first thing I like to promote is the Improv Boost, because the goal of that is to help smaller teams and individuals get more visibility, especially in this time when it's really leveled the playing field. Like, dude, if you have a team or you're doing live, I just want to give you, because I know what it's like to not be on the house team or to see other people.
Yeah.
And all you really want to do is find some stage time for your experimental show that's never seen the stage. Like, I know that feeling, so I want to help you get more visibility. I make no money. I pay money for the Improv Boost. So just follow Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, a new website, www.improvboost.com. I promote other comedy instructors that you can connect to around the world, and I take no cut from that, but they keep all the money, because I just think what I've learned, and I've learned from like you, Jay, to be honest, that when you just give selflessly to improv, you get so much out of it. Like you could charge someone $10 to take your class, but if you go, I'm just going to teach a free drop-in workshop this weekend, it's crazy how much more you get than just $10.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the first thing I want to promote.
Yeah.
The second thing I want to promote is good leaders in improv. Like you are a tremendous, tremendous. There are people. Okay, come on, Jay. Honestly, I have been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this since 1995. I come across teachers that just want to. I come across teachers that are just looking to get egos, or just looking to get money, or just looking to get hierarchy. But when people that are like you, when people are like Jane, people like Paul Valancourt, people that have so much history and experience, and they go, and I just contact them and go, yeah, I'll talk to you for a few minutes. Like, who am I? Who are these people? And you're just willing to like talk to anyone that's new to the craft.
Yeah.
That's what makes the community rewarding and healthy. And that stuff I love. And I want to promote good leaders in improv. That's what I'm
good. Yeah. That's awesome.
And then the third thing I want to promote is my wife. She jumped into the improv.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Monica Escobedo. She is the best.
Monica, I am so lucky because she's so funny and just we have the same interest and she's so creative and I'm just so lucky. Monica? Yeah. Could you come here for a second?
I mean, she walks into this. She comes in as the horse. She comes in as the horse.
I just want to thank you. So, Monica, if you could vamp for a second, I want to show you one thing.
I seem to have misplaced my neck. Have you seen my neck?
It was removed from your body. I'm sorry. It was a last-minute life or death decision.
I thought it was just a splinter. Next thing you knew, no neck.
Exactly. Next thing you knew. Next thing. Next thing.
Exactly. Next thing.
You're the best. I miss you.
I want to promote Monica because she does crazy. Look, she painted this. Like, she does crazy, amazing artwork, and she painted this by hand. Like, it is so crazy. So she's just.
That's crazy. That's amazing.
Thanks.
So those are the three things I want to promote: is Improv Boost, Good Leaders, and painting. And then also I'm working on the second edition of Answers from Improv Teachers. We just got a copy of it, so it's going to come out soon. This is a draft.
You are the best. You are such a great evangelist for improv, and you've been doing it for longer than people think. Like you've been around for such a long time, man, doing this and carrying that torch. And you for me, it's like you both have the attitude, the perfect improviser attitude, which is like focus on others and make them look good. And you're there to look out, especially for the ones that need a help up. And I think a lot of times we forget about those. And you're right. This has leveled the playing field. A lot of smaller theaters are not going to exist anymore, but like we can help as it continues to like maybe rebuild or reshape new theaters, or like just keep showing that improv is about love more than anything else. It's about acceptance and working together to create something that you couldn't have done by yourself.
100%.
100%.
Totally.
When you said no neck, it reminded me of that Steve Martin joke where he's like, I like a woman with a good head on her shoulders. I hate necks. He goes, whenever she walks in the room, every head turns except hers because she has no neck. I was laughing internally about that. And I was like, oh man. And then you said Chesney, and I thought that country music singer. So I was calling you Dr. Kenny. I was like, oh man. It was such a blast and a joy, and I love you both, and we will talk soon, my friends.
Thank you. Bye, Jay. Thank
Bye.
you.
I love you.
Love you. You're the best.
Love you.